If you want maximal gains in minimal time, say goodbye to 90-minute workouts, 45 to 60-minute strength training sessions, full body. I'm gonna show you how to do it and get the best results in a shorter amount of time. All right, guys, so check this out. Back to Coach's Corner. I really kind of want to break down a little model of a 3-day-a-week training session that takes less than 60 minutes. You can get this done 45 is pushing it a little bit, but they're there. And the whole premise is like, look, the reality is even a lot of the people that I train and people I do online program training for is they don't have 75, 90 minutes to get a training session in. A lot of people have at-home gyms. Some people have a gym pretty close by. But again, how do you get results with a specific training session in amount of time? So this is a 3-day-a-week, kind of like maximal gains, minimal time training session. And first, let me go over kind of like 6 things that are important, right, that we want to focus on in these training sessions, which you'll see because we have an example of a training month / a training week. I kind of made I would say a little caveat here that's not one of the 6. It's fast, effective warm-ups, right? So doing warm-ups that get the job done, but they don't go too long. So to me, that's like, probably like an 8-minute warm-up. And I got a bunch of YouTube videos you can check out that has like shorter warm-ups that are effective, the stuff that I do if I'm crunched for time. But from there, we know high frequency muscle stimulation. Like if I could basically, have a choice, I'm gonna go with a full body training session on a 3-day-a-week. Why? Because we know that frequency, hitting the same muscle group 2 to 3 times per week gets better muscle building and also is better when it comes to strength training. So again, I'm gonna pick that choice because it makes more sense. Explosive rep speed. Here's the thing, we can't always go extremely heavy. So sometimes we'll go lighter, but move weights fast, right? To get as much high threshold muscle units stimulated. And we can do that with things that are like with speed. And also we can do those things and kind of continue to stimulate that muscle without getting as much fatigue. So that's gonna be a factor. You're gonna see it here in the training sessions. Number 3 is disciplined rest periods. This is a big one, right? Because when I put the rest periods in here so that, a training session changes completely when you're actually timing your rest and then sticking to it. Now, I know you'll get a lot of this stuff where it's like, hey, what's optimal is like 3 minutes in between every set. What's optimal is that you get the stimulus that you need in the time that you have. And also there's a bunch of research now that have come out. That's not true. It can be as little as 90 seconds on big lifts and so on and so forth, right? Number 4 is progressive overload. We do have to pay attention to that. Like we don't want to, we want to try to get either more weight, more reps, maybe with an intensification method, right? But we want to progress our training so that our body adapts to it. That's a big one. And then focus on big movements. Again, we only got so much time, bang for the buck. With that said, if I write out a specific, I would say exercise, if that doesn't fit you, replace squat variation. Remember, on the other side, I have a front squat as part of the training session. But guess what? If you got a belt squat, a pendulum squat, a double kettlebell squat, there's a trap bar deadlift, wedge squat. Like there's a lot of variations that you can go with, hack squat, right? It's like, does that feel good? Cool, go with that, okay? And then ramp loading. Ramp loading, this is an example, but if I got like 3 sets, it means that like, we're not fatiguing ourselves as much because we're working up. So like bench press, 3 sets of 5. First set, 65% of 1 RM. Your second set is gonna be 75% of 1 RM. And that third set, you're really getting after it, 85% of 1 RM, right? So we're still stimulating that strength, but again, we're ramping up and it's allowing us to not be crushed, right? And we're having that frequency of 3 workouts a week, okay? So that's kind of like the framework or the lens that we're looking at this through to get the most out of it. But let's go into the training session. And again, I didn't include the warm-ups in here, but I started with some explosive stuff. And like, me guys, like I'm a fan of, I say athlete for life, getting explosive movements in, along with, again, looking at the science of like focusing on explosive rep speed, meaning I always like to have a 2 to 3 second control down on reps and an explosive up. But when it comes to these, dumbbell squat jump, we'll do 2 to 3 sets of 5, maximal focus, maximal intent, right? And by the way, this could be a box jump, right? This could be something else, but we just put dumbbell squat jumps in here and then plyo push-ups off of the bench, off the floor, 5 reps, keeping about 30, 45 seconds break in between. Again, this is where it comes down to, right? Like if I'm doing this session, I'm gonna hit my dumbbell squat jumps, right? Getting as high as possible, boom, putting them down, 30-second break, I'm getting my plyo push-ups, then I might get a 45-second break before I go back to it. again, if I'm more crunched for time, I'm probably gonna do 2 sets here. If I got a little bit more, I'm gonna hit it for 3. From there, one of the above, right? If you're proficient in a barbell hang clean, boom, right? We'll do those. Or a high pull, right? We could just do a high pull, whereas just driving it up, not catching it. Or even a trap bar deadlift jump, right? We get a decent load. You know, we might get like a 30 to 40% of 1 RM, and we're gonna do 3 sets of 3 to 5 reps here, okay? And then we're gonna get a core movement here. Like for example, do an ab rollout. You can regress it to a plank or a Swiss ball rollout. 3 sets of 10, and then we're gonna have about 60 to 90 second break. Not a crazy break, but remember, this is explosive work. We don't need as long, right? Sure, we need the break, but we're not gonna go, you know, 2 or 3 minutes here or anything like that. 3 sets, and then we get to our big lift. And here we're gonna go bench press. And again, is this a barbell bench press? Your shoulders feel great? Fine. Neutral bar, kabuki bar, whatever it may be. We're gonna do 3 sets of 5 here, 60-second break, and then going to a lunge. Lunge variation could be a dumbbell reverse lunge. It could be a safety squat bar reverse lunge. But our big movements, right, and going heavy. And here again, 60 seconds. This becomes challenging, right? Like a minute break, even though you go 1 movement, minute break, another movement. And this is why I said like disciplined rest periods, right? You really have to kind of keep your time on and go like, all right, it's time to go. And sometimes, hey, you know what? You're gonna have a higher heart rate and it's gonna be more challenging because of that. But I promise if you continue to have progressive overload from week to week, you're gonna see the results. And then here at the end, farmer's walk, you know, heavy kettlebells, heavy dumbbells, timed reps, TRX rows. So it's pretty grip dominant here, right? Where again, you could even go a rack walk position, you can go farmer's walk position, and you can go TRX rows or a band pull apart, something for that upper back, right, for 30 seconds. And these are quick, right? Because we got 30 seconds, and then 30 to 60 second break. Boom, and we're right back to it for like 3 rounds of that. This will be under an hour. This will probably be about 50 minutes to 60 minutes if you stay pretty true to your rest breaks, okay? Day 2, again, starting with something explosive. I like the dumbbell snatch here, okay? 3 to 5 per side, right? Going pretty damn heavy, hanging position, ripping, right? Boom, resetting, coming back down. And then we're gonna do a mobility movement, like our filler, right? Greatest stretch in the world. Yeah, we already did warm-ups, but you know, with the greatest stretch in the world, we're opening up our hips, we're working thoracic mobility, right? And it kind of gives us a break while we do something effective, right? So we got a 60 to 90 second break here, going back to that one. Then our big lift, I put trap bar deadlift, but it could be a sumo, could be a regular deadlift if you feel fine with it. Again, 3 sets of 5, 65, 75, 85%, right? So kind of doing that ramp up that I talked about earlier. Now here, because that's your most, you're gonna be able to use the most load out of all the lifts in the week, a little bit longer break, right? 2 minutes. And then like something like a chin up, 3 sets of 8. So your grip will be nice and rested. We hit 3 sets of 8 chin ups, then we got a 60-second break, and boom, we go back to our trap bar deadlifts, right? So the thing is, like, real programming will tell you that like just these 2, right? Think about this. We got a 2-minute break, we got a 1-minute break. So it's 3 minutes plus the work, right? So 3 sets, you're looking at about probably 12 minutes of your training session is gonna be right here, okay? Again, we can calculate that because we're staying true to our rest breaks. And then last part here, we got Copenhagen plank and Zotman curls, right? And again, so remember, Copenhagen plank, now we're hitting adductors, we're hitting our side like obliques. Zotman curls, we're working our grip, right? And getting some of the arm work in there as well. So that's our day 2, okay? And again, big compound lifts, big compound movements here. Day 3, and you saw the volume was a little bit lower on that day because we have the biggest lift of the day, which is our trap bar deadlift on that one, right? Day 3, we go to front squat or again, any type of squat that you can, your best ability is your availability. So what squat is available to you through a full range of motion that you can load in a challenging way, right? So again, that 65, 75, 85%, okay? As a filler, we're gonna do kneeling thoracic mobility. So that's the one where you're down on the knees, your hands are up on the bench, right? I'm gonna exhale and basically drive down to get some more of that thoracic mobility, because that's usually a restriction when we're looking at the front squat, right? And so again, that's our filler, After we do that, 60 to 90 second break, we go back to our front squat. I chose here another, again, you can do two. If you want to do a little bit more upper body, what I would do here is go the barbell bench on an incline, and the chest supported row would be a superset. But if you want to get a little bit more legs, we're going to go Bulgarian split squat for 3 sets of 8, minimal break, dumbbell bench incline, and then a 90-second break in between. Again, I really challenge you to try one of these training sessions, keeping your timer and sticking to that timer. See how much of a difference it makes in your training session. And then that last one, we'll do a little bit of a tricep or circuit, right? Single leg hip thrust, 3 sets of 10. Again, that could be with the barbell, it could be with the glute drive if you have it, it could be just with the dumbbell. Chest supported rows for 12, right? We're gonna hit that upper back. And then kettlebell crosswalk for 30 seconds. So crosswalk is like one kettlebell's up here, one's down here, right? Lighter one here, heavier one here. And we're just kind of marching along straight line. And we're gonna do that for 30 seconds. This only has a 60-second break, and we're back at it. Again, after a warm-up, you do about a, again, 8-minute warm-up on this. This should be 45, 50 minutes, keeping it under an hour. And these are the types of training sessions, again, that we are writing, whether it's online clients because they have home gyms, whether they have again, the gym that they're going to, but they're like, I need to be in and out in an hour. And that's just reality for a lot of folks. And again, this breakdown, this program would be a great example of something you can do. By the way, feel free to steal it. Do it for the next 4 weeks. Report back, let me know how it goes. You can kind of see the framework of why we do the things that we do in a way, right? And of course, every phase we progress reps, we change the reps up depending on the goals, but this is kind of a good idea of how to do that. So with that said, let me know if you'd like to see more things like this, breakdowns of programs that can help you out specifically. And if you're looking to feel, look, perform more like an athlete without the nagging aches and pains, make sure to subscribe to this channel. See you next round.